Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. And in this 3D Printed Profits episode, I have with us Arthur. Arthur, where are you coming from, man?
I am coming from Montreal, Canada.
Montreal, Canada. In
Yep,
case you guys didn't
Canuckistan.
know. All right, so we're just going to talk to Arthur about his business, how he got started, so on and so forth. And as always, a couple of things. Make sure you guys join us in the 3D Printing Side Hustle Facebook group. And if you guys stay to the very, very end, make sure you guys do, so I can give you your own product idea for when you guys want to start your own 3D printing business. All right. All of Arthur's links are going to be in the description below. And if you're on YouTube and if you're on your favorite podcast player, it's going to be on the show notes. All right. So without further ado, Arthur, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. Awesome to be here.
So let's get started here, man. How did you get started in 3D printing?
So it started off way back in 2014. It was right around 2014, 2016 where 3D printing started just blowing up. And I remember seeing there was this one wallet that I thought was really cool. And I already knew how to do CAD files. So I kind of just made a CAD file. And then I heard about 3D printers. And at the time I was at high school, and I heard that this other high school in the district had a 3D printer. So anyways, I sent an email to the teacher who had the 3D printer, and he ended up just printing out that wallet that I was talking about, and that kind of just started everything. After that, I started going to other high schools that had 3D printers. We didn't have one at mine.
So you would print your stuff there?
Yep.
Okay.
So it was always just experimenting with stuff. I remember making kind of like a stand for my phone, but you'd plug in one of those microphone and speaker combos. It's like an old-fashioned phone where you do the whole dial up and everything.
Yeah.
Hang up on the top. Yeah, I remember making one of those. It was something cool. For being a high schooler, it really helped me grow into just the whole CAD software and just 3D modeling, everything. It was huge, and it ultimately helped me figure out what I wanted to do in life.
Gotcha. So for our pre-show conversation, you had mentioned that you make soft grips for paintball guns, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us more about that. How'd you come up with that idea?
So I actually didn't come up with the idea. So if there's any paintballers listening here, you probably know about Facebook groups and how everything goes down in Facebook groups. Like pretty much everything is documented. That's where you buy stuff. It's where you sell stuff. It's where you get appraisals. It's where you go find new products that people are looking to have testers for, stuff like that. And I was always messing around with 3D printers. And what happened was an owner of a company called Enoch Paintball hit me up, and he said, listen, I see you're good with 3D models. The last 3 guys who did 3D models for me bailed out on me. Could you help me out with making a couple of these files? And I told him, sure. So he gave me a couple pictures of the grips he wanted me to make, and then just sketched them up. And then I worked in a team with him and this other guy who was in charge of printing. So one guy was on the money end, financing it. I was on the modeling end, and the other guy was on the printing end. So after that, things were going pretty good. We were doing a lot of troubleshooting, but it's kind of tough when you've got one guy who pays for everything, then you got to wait for his stuff to come in. You make a model, then you send it off to the printing guy. You got to wait for him to print it. Then you got to wait for him to reply to you and tell you if there's anything wrong with the file, or if there's any tweaks that need to be made. And it was just a long chain of command. And what ended up happening is the printing guy dipped out. He ended up selling all of his printing stuff. And I don't know, he said he needed to take a break for his mental health, which is absolutely fine. I mean, I encourage it. That being said, it doesn't really make him reliable when it comes to getting rubber grips from him. So the owner of the company he hit me up and he said, listen, I know you are also good with printers. Could I pay you to model these grips and print them? I said, well, listen, just help me get a printer, and I'm
You'll print
totally
him
down.
for him.
Like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want. Let's do it. So
Did he buy you a printer?
no, he bought the parts that I needed from the States that I couldn't get in Canada.
Okay.
Because shipping to Canada is pricey, and sometimes Canadian credit cards don't always go through with the American. There's Shopify or sometimes
Gotcha.
PayPal.
Gotcha.
There's always little issues with that.
So how did it all end up going? Did you ended up being just you and the money guy?
That's me. Yep. So since then, things have been going great. That's when I got my Ender 3. It's great for starting off, even if you just buy it used. Absolutely love it. And yeah, so to talk about the grips, you're able to see them, but they can't. So the grips, they are made of a TPU 95A. So it's a pretty flexible stuff. And what actually happens is, depending on the infill, it will affect its flexibility and how squishy it is, because you've pretty much just got air inside and not hard rubber.
Sure.
So with these grips, they actually have a little cutout for a acrylic window that you pop in, and that there is the window for the board. So the guy that I work with, he makes the computer boards for these paintball guns, and the reason why they're so sought after is because they're discontinued paintball guns.
Gotcha.
They're really just works of history in the paintball world, and people love them.
And what brand of paintball gun is this?
Honestly, we're working with like 6 or 7 brands. So we've got Dye, we've got Smart Parts, we've got we've got Angel, we've got AKA, we've got.
You guys still work? Are you guys working with Tipman as well?
No, actually. So Tipman is its own thing. The whole Tipman family itself is its own thing. They've got their own R&D department. They've got everything under control.
Gotcha.
So
let's dive into the business here a little bit more, man. How much profit are you guys making a month on this business?
A month, honestly, it depends on demand, but if I had to even it out, I'd say a good 500 to 800 a month. Sometimes
that's a pretty damn good side hustle, man.
Yeah, it's good beer money, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Speaking of beer, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
So how did you guys get your first customers and your first clients?
So let me see. The guy who makes the boards, he's pretty well known in the paintball community for just always playing with old school guns that you don't see anymore. And it's just the biggest insult in paintball when you get completely wrecked by someone and he's using this old school, like, steam engine like gun. And it's like, how on earth did he beat me with that big old thing? Like, some of them look like bricks with like a tank attached to it. So anyways, he's been known for that, and then he started making boards. So pretty much everyone already knew about him, but what he didn't like is that you had to cut out part of the grip, and you had to really just destroy this piece of work that you can't really get your hands on.
Gotcha. So how did the first customers come though?
Honestly, just on Facebook. They already knew him, and then they just started hitting him up.
So he posted these grips, and people were like, you know what, that's awesome.
No, he posted. He started off with his boards, and then he started adding the grips as kind of like a little upgrade that you can get with them. Now all the grips come with, or all the boards come with grips.
Sweet, man. So when you guys had that, right? So you got your initial surge of customers. What happened next? Did you invest in more machines to print these out, or how did that go?
No. At that point, I mean, we saw that there was a specific demand for it, and what happened was we started branching out to make boards for different companies of paintball guns, because every company is different. Every paintball gun works differently. So he started trying to make boards for different kinds of paintball guns, and he started adding these really cool gimmicks, like you can program it with your cell phone, like with a Bluetooth app and stuff like that. Like he's bringing new life into this old school paintball world. So people just started eating it up as soon as they saw that kind of stuff. I mean, the demand is just as high as ever right now. And what happens is people do pre-orders, and they have to wait until the boards come in because he gets them manufactured. So they're actually usually out of stock. So we're pretty much just trying to keep up with demand.
What a problem to have.
Yeah, definitely keeps you on your toes.
So do you not have a bunch of machines, or do you still have just that one Ender 3 that's producing the grips?
So right now I have the one Ender 3. When I first started off, I used Ultimakers. I used 2 of them, but now I've just got the Ender 3 because I don't really need to print faster than the demand.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can just always have something printing.
So there's no need for a farm for it.
No. So I mean, bottom line, you really don't need a farm of printers to make some good money.
There you go. Yeah, that's very true. We just interviewed a few people actually who don't have a ton of printers, and they're still making decent money.
Yeah.
And so each TPU brand has a different elasticity rating. They have a different different ratings for everything. What brand TPU are you using?
So right now, let me check here. I believe it is Overture.
Overture. Okay. They make great TPU. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Overture TPU. It's Overture TPU 95A. So 95A is considered the durometer. The higher the number, the tougher it is. So one thing you want to note about TPU is that some of it is elastic, some of it isn't. You can have something that's flexible but not elastic. You can have something that's elastic
but not flexible. Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And everything just varies per company. I mean, what might work for one company, you got to recalibrate it for your printer because you're using a different company.
So that's cool, man. So what software are you using for design?
For design, I use Fusion 360.
Okay.
I know it's super
And
popular.
have you used that since high school?
No, I started with PTC Creo 3, which was kind of like a little underdog of the group. I mean, no one really had the money for SolidWorks unless you're in a company or you get a student license, and that's iffy. So I started off with Creo, which was good for beginners, but no, I highly recommend Fusion 360. A lot of the times you can figure out what's going wrong with your prints as far as overhang and just tough geometries, and it's just the easiest thing ever to edit it in Fusion 360.
Gotcha. So do you have any other revenue streams aside from the printed, grips, and do you offer design services and or print services?
I do design services. I usually don't advertise it. Usually people hit me up like, hey, I got a project, and I'll usually do models for free because it gives me something to do, but it's whatever. I mean, I'm sure I could get cash off of it, but I don't really care about that. However, I do printing services here and there. Most of my printing is actually through the grip company or the board company. So I don't usually advertise what I'm making unless it is paintball triggers. And
Gotcha.
That's something I started doing before the whole paintball grips thing. So the cool thing is if you can find a target audience, really just a demand for something, and what you do is you make it better than people imagined it. You make it so that it adapts to other things in the industry. Like, let's say, for my example, it's paintball triggers. There's a company that makes triggers, and they're just the greatest things ever, but they only work in their guns. So what I did is I made an adapter to use with a bunch of other companies' guns that they can use those really cool triggers in. So, I mean, if you can offer like just that little, I don't want to say quality of life, but I mean, just that little extra bling to make it super customizable. I mean, it's going to be easy to model. It's going to be easy to print, and it gives the customer a bunch of opportunities. They're going to love it.
Gotcha. That's good advice, man. So do you guys sell this just on Facebook groups, or do you have your own website or Etsy store or anything like that?
There is a website. I believe it's enochpaintball.com.
Okay. We'll be sure to link that in the description in the show notes. And that's the only place where you guys sell these?
Yeah, it's where you put down orders. As far as triggers though, I mean, people just kind of hit me up and send me stuff through PayPal.
Gotcha.
But honestly, Facebook is great for this kind of stuff. I mean, people already do a lot of 3D printing services through Facebook. I know there's Fiverr and Etsy as well, but I don't have much experience with that.
Gotcha. So what's working today in terms of marketing? How else are you guys getting the word out for this? I mean, it's not like you guys need to, because you already have, you know, a market base, and you guys can't even keep up with demand. But how else is marketing working for you guys?
Well, as far as marketing goes, sometimes I do a small promotion where I'll just knock $5 off of however much the purchase was, and I'll ask them, listen, I'll take $5 off your purchase if you just make a post and say and just show the thing working, and just show people how it works. I mean, I've already made posts, stuff like that, but I mean, sometimes they make posts in other groups. Sometimes they reach different people, and it really just helps spread the word. I mean, if they like it, they're going to do a good review. If not, I mean, it's kind of on you if they don't like it, but no. So, I mean, a lot of the good marketing is spread through the customers and not the company itself.
Gotcha. So that's really it for all my questions, man. What's next for Enoch Paintball? What's the future for you guys? Are you coming out with new product lines? Anything like that?
Pretty much just new boards. I know they're working on making their own paintball guns. They're pretty much like a spin-off of a paintball gun that already exists, and they're getting it 100% CNC milled. They're just re-engineering the whole thing from the ground up. But in all honesty, I think it's going to be a little bit before that comes out. One more thing, though, now I think about it, that might be helpful for anybody starting off a 3D printing business. I know that a lot of people have just varying prices, and they say, oh, $30 for this much, or depending on what their print is. You're going to find a lot of competitive pricing. You don't want to be the lowest priced guy, because it's kind of a hint that you're selling yourself short. What you really want to focus on is your print quality. Like, any of the seams that are showing, any little layer skipping, or just layers that shift sideways while you're printing, that's really going to affect your reputation. So you definitely want to get all of your settings dialed in. You want to get some beta testers on some stuff that you're making, and then start selling it. I mean, as far as quality, if it's good quality and you offer a good pricing, it's a great deal. Why wouldn't someone come back for more? So what's useful too is you ask people while you're printing something for them if you can take a picture of the piece they commissioned from you, and ask if you can put it on their website. So what actually happens is you don't have little benchies, because everyone's seen a benchy. Everyone knows, I mean, what benchies look like and everything. I mean, you can show that you're good with a certain plastic, but you're not really able to express how good you are at printing. Just show the things you've done, especially if it's impressive. Like, really get some good pictures of it, some good pictures of the layer definition, and the customers will definitely flock to you.
There you go. You guys, that is your tip for today from Arthur, for if anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing business. And as always, I told you guys, if you stay till the very, very end, I'll give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing side business. And today's product idea are championship rings. As I mentioned yesterday, right? Was it yesterday or the other day? One of the days. I said you guys should use custom. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Custom medals, right? For, when people win something. You can also do championship rings, right? Now, these championship rings can be super custom. They would look so much better with higher detail than the ones that you guys can find in any of the stores. But those ones charge like $300 because they have like actual bling in it. But these guys, you can make higher detail. You can paint them yourself, or you can just attach those little sticker jewelry things on there, right? So that's how you guys would do it. Championship rings, product idea. Again, Arthur, thanks for being on the show, man. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure you guys tune in Monday through Friday for your shows, 6 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to be interviewing more people who make money with 3D printing. Again, Arthur, thank you for being on the show. Catch you later, man.